for all the continued support that you've given me, that you've given my brand, that you've supported me through every single thing that I've shared with you through my life. I appreciate you all so much, and I hope that you have a very, very happy new year. I've been getting lots and lots and lots of questions as it relates to my new eating lifestyle. I mentioned already that I've gone vegan. I did it right before the new year, and I am so excited about this journey. I'm also really happy to hear that so many people have so many questions. Now, as someone who's been vegan for a little under 1 month, I don't have all the answers and all the tips and tricks and advice just yet. I do need a little bit more time to feel it out, navigate my way through vegan living, vegan eating, and just vegan cooking in general. But there are some resources that I would love to recommend to you, especially if you are considering plant-based eating. Maybe it's not vegan, maybe you're thinking about going vegetarian, or maybe you're thinking about removing certain types of meat from your diet. Whatever journey you are on, if you watch these few movies that I'm going to suggest to you, it will help to really help you make a decision. The first movie that I've ever seen that really had me conscious about how many fruits and vegetables I was eating was Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. This is a documentary that you can find on Netflix. And after watching Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, the narrator, his name is Joe, he talks about how switching from eating whole foods and juicing for a period of 30 to 60 days really helped to take his body from being fat, sick, and nearly dead to actually being healthy again. Joe, during that entire time, lost a ton of weight by removing, foods and fatty foods and processed foods from his diet. He also had some skin ailments and other sicknesses, and he was really at a borderline for a lot of other diseases as it relates to the heart. And after doing the juicing for an extended period of time, he reversed everything and no longer needed any medication. In that movie, Joe goes on a road trip across the entire nation and also, I believe, to other countries. And he's interviewing people about their eating habits. And he also takes us on the journey of several other people who he met and introduced them to juicing and how their lives changed by just trying juicing for 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, and so on. Watching this movie was a pivotal point for me because at the time I wasn't that good about getting fruits and vegetables into my normal diet already as it was. Yeah, I would eat a banana here and there, but if I didn't have fruit in my house, it wasn't something that I was actively seeking to replace. However, after watching that movie, I invested in a juicer. I also invested in a higher power blender so that when I couldn't make juices, I could make smoothies. But either way, I was focused on getting in fresh fruits and vegetables into my diet. And after watching that movie, I have been committed to either having a smoothie or a juice at least every day or within the week a few times. Most weeks, if I don't have a smoothie or I don't have a juice, I am still consuming a large amount of fruits and vegetables, which is something I couldn't say I did before watching that movie. Another movie that I highly recommend you see is Forks Over Knives. I actually just recently watched this movie. It's a documentary on Netflix, and I was mind blown. I think that it was a great time for me to watch this movie because watching this movie at this point in my life where I am committed to going plant-based, eating vegan, is something that is obviously a lifestyle change. This is not something that the world it makes very easy and accessible for you because everywhere you go and every place you can possibly eat, and even in local places where you buy food, there's not always this promotion of vegan style eating because a lot of things incorporate meat and meat byproducts like dairy and cheese and eggs. So we take for granted how much meat we eat, how much sugar we consume, how much dairy we consume. And as a mom of 2 young children, I actively give my children milk more often than I even drink it because they're children and pediatricians tell you they need milk. Well, after watching this movie, Forks Over Knives, it changed my perception about a lot of things. I am not going to be able to actively give my family things that they are used to eating while I'm eating a vegan lifestyle anymore. I can't do that anymore because there was a study in this documentary in regards to the increase in cancerous tumors in rats as they were testing the amount of protein that comes from milk. It starts with a C, I forget the exact name, but this milk protein was given to rats in a certain dosage. The rats that received the higher dosages had an increase of cancerous tumors over a period of time versus the rats that were given smaller dosages. And when the study was done, giving rats higher dosages and then lower dosages, when they were receiving the higher dosage of this milk protein, their cancerous tumors increased. And once that milk protein was reduced and they were given only lower dosages, the cancerous tumors decreased. And then once again, they were given higher dosages and then they were given lower dosages. And once again, the cancerous tumors increased. And then when they were taken down, they decreased. And that one thing just kind of put into perspective for me that I cannot eat my way to a healthy life while still cooking and preparing and feeding my family things that will not necessarily make them healthy. And now I'm not saying go watch this video or this documentary and you won't eat meat anymore and you won't eat milk anymore or drink milk anymore. I'm not saying that that is what's going to happen to you, but my husband watched this movie with me and he made the decision all on his own that he was going to also participate in eating a plant-based diet along with me. We talked about it. I was so excited I could hardly contain myself. I gave him the biggest hug and the biggest kiss. He was overwhelmed with how excited I was because he did not understand what I was dealing with. He did not understand how hard and how much guilt I felt. I felt so hypocritical. I think the biggest thing for me was I'm eating to be healthy, but I'm not feeding my family to be healthy. Like, there were definitely some really healthy things that I've done for my family, but this is just the next step. And basically what I'm saying is I'm just so happy that my husband has come around and that movie is what brought him around. I was already committed, but watching Forks Over Knives, and I think too for my husband, because cancer runs in his side of the family, it really helped him to understand how he could maybe reverse the effects of some of those diseases that people consider to be genetics, and he could avoid those. And if he doesn't, God forbid, at least whatever decisions he makes now at this point moving forward can only help him live a longer, healthier life. There was a lot more discussed in that movie in general about the benefits of eating plant-based and how it really helps your body. And they talk a lot about heart attacks, they talk about strokes, they talk about different cardiac surgeries, and they talk a lot about your blood vessels, your veins, and some of the things that are happening when you eat food and how that translates into your body. They do a lot of that. They even have a really great diagram where they talk about how 500 plant-based calories, what that looks like in your stomach versus 500 processed food calories and 500 calories of oil, and the effects of that on how you feel when you're eating and so on. And then lastly, technically this isn't exactly a specific movie, but if you have Netflix, there are several other movies that are related to fast foods and eating well that I would encourage you to look through. I've seen Vegucated and I've seen Supersize Me, as well as one other that the name is slipping the top of my tongue right now, but I wanted to highlight those two that I just mentioned because I think anyone who is interested and seeking any type of like information and education around healthy living, those two are a great place for you. They're a great place. I think you will get a lot of information and insight, and especially when you watch Forks Over Knives, you're hearing the story of doctors and scientists and what modern medicine has not been able to do for us that just eating plants have been able to do for us. And that is just so rewarding to be able to have that information when making a conscious decision or when explaining to someone why I'm deciding not to eat such and such. It's not just about losing weight. People eat vegan lifestyles and they're not healthy. So you can decide to eat vegan and not be a healthy vegan. But when you think about plant-based and you're focused on eating fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and healthy nuts, healthy foods, and it helps you to really come up with your response as to why you're doing it, why take it out, and what benefit do I have by eating meat. I love chicken. Listen, this is not a video by someone who is like a tree hugger. I love chicken. I love meat. I love pork. I love fish. I love eggs. I mean, I love a lot of these things. I don't want you to feel like this is someone who is like all of a sudden she's changed her life around and now she's preaching to the masses to go vegan. That's not what I'm doing. What I am doing is giving you a few resources that I strongly suggest you watch if you are already in the mind frame of thinking about going this route, but you've not been able to commit because of some reason. Whatever your reason is, watch these movies, and whatever that reason you have for not doing it, I'm sure what you watch will help you get past that. It will help you get past that, and then you'll be ready to consider it. And if you do consider it and you go vegan and you're only vegan or you're only vegetarian for a very short while, at least you tried it and you gave yourself the opportunity. Like I said, I've been vegan for less than a month. I'm waiting to celebrate my 1 month vegan-versary, if that even makes sense. But I'm excited about this new journey, so I will be celebrating every single month. I will be celebrating every single week. I will celebrate every single year. So I really do hope this video was helpful to you. Check out these resources. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Share this video with others. Subscribe to my channel. And as always, I love you for watching. Bye. And so today I am weighing in. This is going to be my first weigh-in vlog of 2016. I'd like to be consistent and do these every single week as I weigh in on Fridays, and I want to take you on the road with me. So let's see what I'm weighing today.